Chapter 1. Discussion about beekeeping, human nature, and society. Holmes has already retired and leads a leisurely life as a beekeeper in the countryside. His residence on Baker Street in London remains one of the places he cherishes. He continues to pay rent on time, preserving its original appearance. Later, Holmes decides to purchase 221B Baker Street, and I contribute some money to it to consider it an investment in acquiring the apartment together. Therefore, the Baker Street apartment is a property jointly purchased by Holmes and me. As the cold winter approaches, everything becomes desolate, and the land is covered by white snow. Life in the countryside seems a bit lonely, prompting me to return to London frequently. Although winters in London are cold and gloomy, some restaurants offer delicious French and Italian cuisine. People can attend the opera to listen to the latest popular operas or visit the library to peruse newly published books. Holmes's beekeeping activities come to a halt in winter, and to ward off loneliness, he also moves to reside on Baker Street in London. Initially, it was just a short stay of a couple of weeks, but gradually Holmes and I established a routine. We come to London every winter and return to the countryside when the weather warms up and nature revives. This winter, Holmes and I reunited in the apartment on Baker Street. We were discussing our respective lives in the countryside, and the conversation unconsciously turned to beekeeping. Bees are social animals, with numerous bees gathering together to form a colony. In the wild, a bee colony can have anywhere from a couple of thousand to up to 10,000 bees. When the natural conditions are favorable, some colonies can even reach 100,000, and the artificially raised bee colonies typically have around 20,000 bees. Holmes spoke about his beekeeping experiences. 20,000 bees sound like a large number, roughly equivalent to a small city for humans. Their flight might be spectacular, requiring many flowers for nectar collection, but at night, they return to a seemingly small beehive. It's somewhat incredible. I always thought a bee colony had only dozens or hundreds of bees because the hive doesn't appear large. I never expected there could be thousands to tens of thousands of bees. Although the number of bees is considerable, they have division of labor, and not all bees fly out to collect nectar. The queen bee is dedicated solely to egg-laying and does not engage in other tasks. All aspects of the queen bee's life are taken care of by worker bees. Typically, there is only one queen bee in a colony, and if another queen appears, the colony may split. Of course, an aging queen bee that loses reproductive capacity is generally not expelled. Generally, an old queen bee may continue to reside within the colony. This aspect is somewhat humane. Holmes continued. The majority of the colony consists of worker bees, responsible for all daily tasks, including nectar collection, waste removal, tending to the queen, caring for larvae, building and maintaining the hive, and more. What we usually see are worker bees going out for nectar collection, primarily the mature and adult worker bees. Younger worker bees generally perform daily tasks within the hive. This is somewhat similar to humans. Adult and middle-aged individuals work in the fields, go hunting in the mountains, or fish at sea, while women and teenagers take care of children and household chores at home. You're right, Watson. Bees and humans share certain similarities. Both are social animals, living in communities, and have a certain division of labor and cooperation. We humans have a certain organizational structure. We have kings, prime ministers, cabinet members, mayors, managers, team leaders, and so on. Society can only function effectively through the management of these individuals. Did you notice similar roles among bees when you were beekeeping? I have not discovered these roles. Apart from the queen bee, there are a few male bees responsible only for mating and not involved in production. The vast majority of the colony is made up of worker bees, and they seem to be equal. There are no managers among them. Whether they go out to collect nectar or perform various household tasks seems to be instinctive. They just naturally do various tasks, and the balance of the required number of bees for each task, as well as the priority of different tasks, is naturally achieved. They don't consciously choose easier tasks and avoid laborious ones. It's truly a remarkable thing. In that case, People often mock chaotic situations as being like a beehive, but that's actually inaccurate. The daily life of bees is very orderly. You're right. They are even more orderly than humans. People often argue and even resort to violence, but bees seem harmonious with each other. At least within the same colony, they are very friendly. In human societies, there are often criminals who engage in selfish and harmful activities, but in a bee colony, such things seem to be non-existent. Can we consider that bees are selfless? Perhaps everything they do is for the benefit of the colony? Yes, they seem to be selfless. They have no private property, no individual nests, no family, and no offspring. This is different from humans. Everything they have belongs to the collective. But the main reason may be the difference in nature. Humans seek enjoyment, are inherently greedy, and are often arrogant. We cannot know the psychological activities of bees, but judging from their behavior, their disposition seems not as dark as that of humans. You've raised so many bee colonies, and their locations are relatively concentrated. Have you observed any conflicts or even wars between different colonies? No, all the bees coexist peacefully. They go out for nectar during the day and return to their respective hives at night. Bees from different hives seem friendly when they encounter each other while collecting nectar. Even when they collect nectar on the same flower, they do not bother each other and depart after completing their work. Unlike humans, where conflicts may arise between different countries over colonies or even between villages for resources such as water sources and farmland. Such things do not occur among bees. Holmes continued, sometimes, one human country may invade another, enslaving its citizens. Bees, on the other hand, would never have a situation where one colony takes over the nest of another colony. Such things are inconceivable among bees. The queen bee is only responsible for reproduction, essentially a form of division of labor. The queen cannot command other bees, and, of course, it has no desire to expand the territory of the colony, I added. Yes. The queen bee is not a true queen. It's just a title we humans have given it. In contrast, human kings or queen are often genuine rulers, such as in Germany, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, China, and Russia. In the United Kingdom, we have a constitutional monarchy, where the king or queen is the head of state, but real power lies with the democratically elected prime minister. Of course, Japan also has a constitutional monarchy, but the emperor still holds considerable power. Holmes compared the queen bee to human kings. France and the United States take it a step further. Their heads of state are presidents, and the royal family as a group has already disappeared. If the power of a country is overly centralized, it often has a certain aggressiveness, leading to wars, as dictators need wars to consolidate their power. Countries where power belongs to the people generally tend to lean towards peace. War is a calamity for civilians, as soldiers fighting on the battlefield are, after all, the children of the people. Of course, democratically elected governments are sometimes involuntarily drawn into wars, Holmes explained. All of Holmes's previous hobbies revolved around investigation and crime, and he was not interested in humanities. However, through beekeeping, it seems he has gained insights into certain social and political phenomena.